Have you ever felt that crushing frustration, like you're wasting your time, energy, and even your self-respect? And all because you're chasing a woman who couldn't care less. Let me tell you something harsh. In today's world, men like you are constantly told to pursue, to chase, to give it all. But is that really the path to success? Today, I'm giving you 12 hard-hitting reasons why chasing is a trap, why it kills your potential, and why, in the end, you're left empty and frustrated. If you're serious about not just surviving but thriving, buckle up because I'm about to flip everything you thought you knew about dating on its head. Before we dive in, I want you to do one thing: commit. Commit to listening all the way through. These are the hard truths no one's telling you because everyone wants you to play the game like a puppet. I'm not here to feed you fairy tales. I'm here to wake you up. Because the truth is, as a man, you're worth a hell of a lot more than what society tries to squeeze out of you. If you're ready to hear why you should never chase, why the chase only pulls you down, and how to rise above the noise, drop a comment below saying, "I'm done chasing." Let's do this. Number 1. Chasing distracts you from your goals. Listen up. Chasing a woman is one of the most dangerous distractions out there. Think of all the time you're pouring into her. Could be hours texting, hours planning, spending money, putting effort into dates, sending good morning and good night texts, and waiting around for replies. Now, imagine if that same time went toward building your skills, leveling up in your career, or even hitting the gym and improving your health. Which do you think will actually help you get where you want to be in life? The truth is, every second you spend waiting for her to text back, you're missing out on something valuable. This isn't about bitterness, it's about practicality. Life isn't sitting still, and neither should you. Take that texting energy and put it into learning a new skill that could get you a promotion, starting a side hustle that pays you back tenfold, or working out to improve your health. All of these things compound over time and make you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. On the other hand, the chase, it leaves you tired, frustrated, and usually with nothing to show for it. Let's face it, society has conditioned us to believe that the pursuit of a woman is somehow heroic, that it's the path to happiness. But that's outdated thinking, my friend. In today's world, your time is your most valuable asset. Every hour you spend chasing someone else is an hour lost in building your future. And believe me, the future doesn't wait. If you're not investing in yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. Women respect men who respect themselves enough to prioritize their own path. So start asking yourself, is this time and effort really worth it? Or would it be better spent building the kind of life that doesn't rely on anyone else's approval? Number 2. It sets you up as the one who needs validation. When you chase, you're putting her validation above your own self-respect. You're telling her that she's in control of how you feel. Here's the deal. Validation from others is unstable. Today she's giving you attention. Tomorrow she ghosts you. You need to value yourself enough to know that you don't need anyone's approval to feel like you're worth something. Validation from someone else, especially from a woman who doesn't reciprocate, is like building a house on sand. It shifts, it changes, and one small wave can knock it down. The moment you start relying on her text replies, her compliments, or her time to feel good about yourself, you've already lost. Think about it. Would you ever hand over the keys to your happiness and say, "Here, you're in charge now"? Because that's what's happening when you chase. You're giving her the power to decide if you're enough, when, in reality, that decision should be entirely yours. Men, your self-worth should come from what you're building, your goals, your resilience, your hustle. Real validation is knowing that you can handle whatever life throws your way. It's being grounded in your purpose, not floating in the hopes that she'll notice you. So stop seeking someone else's approval and start validating yourself through your actions. Wake up every morning with a mission, a plan, a purpose that's rooted in you, not in someone else's opinion. When you build yourself up, when you know your value, you won't have to chase anyone. They'll see it, and if they're worth it, they'll respect it. Number 3. Chasing creates a power imbalance. Chasing puts you in a lower position. You're looking up and she's looking down. It's a game, and it's designed for you to lose. Let's get real. When she knows you're after her, it gives her all the control. And with control comes the power to walk all over you. Think about it. The more you chase, the more you hand over your respect and dignity on a silver platter. You're essentially saying, "Here, take my energy, my time, and my focus." And for what? For a maybe, for a shot at her interest. My guy, that's not a fair trade. Real power, the kind that commands respect, is rooted in balance. It's not begging, it's not convincing someone to stay, and it's definitely not handing someone else the reins to your life. Imagine a life where you're focused on what you can control. Imagine that all the effort you're pouring into getting her attention goes into making your life better, richer, and more fulfilling. When you have a life that's worth showing up to every day, people take notice. They can see that you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And here's the kicker. A life like that naturally attracts the right people. You won't have to chase them because they'll see your value up front. That's true power. When you focus on your journey, when you live with purpose, you'll attract people who respect that drive. Number 4. The chase wears you down mentally. It's exhausting, plain and simple. You spend your days thinking about her, wondering what you should say next, planning your next move. It's mentally draining. This mental toll adds up and affects every area of your life. Stress, anxiety, second-guessing yourself, all of these come from the constant chase. When you're always chasing, you put yourself in a mental prison. You're the one locking yourself in, pacing the cell, wondering why things aren't going your way. You're constantly anxious, overthinking every little detail, replaying scenarios in your head, all because you're invested in a chase that isn't reciprocated. That's not just exhausting, it's damaging. Your mental peace should be sacred. Instead, you're giving it up in exchange for the hope of winning over someone else. And let's be clear, the mental drain doesn't just go away. It starts seeping into other areas of your life. You find yourself unfocused at work, short-tempered with friends, and struggling to stay motivated, all because you've put so much energy into someone who isn't giving it back. Chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught isn't romantic. It's self-destructive. Number 5. You end up neglecting true connections. While you're chasing someone who may or may not be interested, you're ignoring the people who actually value you. Family, friends, mentors, people who genuinely care about your growth and success. The ones who are there for you no matter what, even when there's nothing to gain from it. These are the people who would lift you up if you ever fell, and yet they're being sidelined because you're too focused on someone who barely notices you. Chasing one-sided affection isn't just draining, it's selfish. You're putting someone else on a pedestal while forgetting about the people who truly support you. Think about it. Every second you waste on someone who doesn't reciprocate is a second stolen from those who'd actually pick up the phone if you called, who'd celebrate your wins, who'd stand by you during losses. If you're truly about loyalty and respect, show it to the people who are actually there for you. Spend time with them, build memories, and appreciate the ones who have been with you since day one. These are the people who'll lift you higher, who'll help you become the best version of yourself. Don't let one-sided admiration make you forget the real ones. Number 6. Chasing destroys your confidence over time. Every rejection, every ignored message, every excuse she gives you is a blow to your confidence. And you may think, I can handle it. But here's the truth. Confidence doesn't grow from constantly facing rejection. It grows from success. Real confidence is built when you set goals and crush them, not when you're out there trying to win over someone who's not interested. Think about this. Every time you chase someone who isn't reciprocating, you're reinforcing the idea that you're not good enough. Even if it's subtle, that doubt starts creeping in. You start wondering, what's wrong with me? Why isn't she interested? And that's a dangerous spiral, my friend. You're feeding insecurities, letting them grow, and tearing yourself down in the process. Instead, aim to build confidence through real achievements. Pick a goal. Maybe it's fitness, maybe it's leveling up your career, maybe it's learning a new skill, and go all in. Every time you see results, every time you reach a new milestone, that's real confidence building. You're proving to yourself what you're capable of. Confidence that's rooted in self-achievement can't be shaken, not by anyone, because at the end of the day, it's not about anyone else's validation. It's about proving to yourself that you're unstoppable. Number 7. Chasing reinforces a negative self-image. Every time you lower your standards just to keep her around, you're telling yourself, consciously or unconsciously, that you're not worth much. You're planting the seed of self-doubt, reinforcing a negative self-image. And the worst part? You start to believe it. You start to accept that maybe this is the best you can do, that maybe this is the treatment you deserve. But let me ask you this. Would you ever tell your closest friend, your brother, or someone you cared about to settle for someone who doesn't see their worth? No? Then why are you doing it to yourself? Lowering your standards isn't noble, it's self-sabotage. You're worth far more than half-hearted interest and breadcrumbs of attention. You deserve someone who respects you, who values you, who actually wants to be with you. Stop reinforcing this negative image. Instead, start raising your standards. Set boundaries. Recognize that your time, energy, and presence are valuable. And if someone doesn't see that, that's their loss, not yours. Self-respect isn't about being arrogant. It's about understanding your worth and not settling for anything less. Because when you know your value, you attract people who see it too. So raise the bar for yourself and for everyone around you. Number 8. You risk losing the person you're meant to become. The energy you put into the chase is energy you could use to become unstoppable. Imagine what you could accomplish if you focused on yourself instead. Imagine the man you could become, successful, self-sufficient, respected. But every time you prioritize the chase over your growth, you're pushing that version of yourself further away. You're sacrificing your potential for a fleeting attraction, and that's a price you don't want to pay. Let me paint a picture for you. Think about yourself 5-10 years from now. Picture the man who's thriving in his career, surrounded by people who actually care about him, respected, healthy, and confident. Now think about where you're spending your energy today. Are you setting yourself up to become that man? Or are you getting sidetracked by people who aren't invested in you? The reality is, the person you're meant to be isn't waiting around for someone's attention. He's out there grinding, building, achieving. And every time you chase someone who doesn't value you, you're delaying his arrival. You're keeping him in the shadows because you're too focused on someone else. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Become the man who doesn't need to chase because he's focused on his own journey. The right people will notice, the right opportunities will come, and you'll look back knowing that you didn't waste time on people who didn't deserve it. Number 9. When you focus on growth, the right people will come. Let's flip the script. Instead of chasing someone who isn't reciprocating, put that energy into building the best version of yourself. Think about it. A man who's genuinely focused on growth, who's leveling up, who's chasing goals and breaking barriers, that's the kind of man people respect. When you're on your grind, when you're building a life of value, you don't have to chase anyone. People notice success. They respect confidence. They're drawn to someone who's actively improving their life. Here's a hard truth. If you want the right people in your life, start by becoming the right person yourself. You don't attract high-quality relationships by begging for attention or bending over backward. You attract them by setting an example. When you're thriving, you'll naturally draw people who respect what you're about, who see your ambition and want to be a part of your journey. And these aren't the people who'll make you chase. They're the ones who'll walk alongside you, who will add value to your life instead of draining it. Imagine it. A life where you're surrounded by people who uplift you, people who appreciate the work you're putting in, people who respect the grind. That's what focusing on growth will bring. Forget about the ones who want you to chase them. They're not going where you're going. Put your head down, focus on leveling up, and watch the right people come into your life on their own. Number 10. Confidence comes from achievement, not validation. Real confidence isn't built by chasing someone's approval. It's not built by wondering if you're good enough or by waiting for someone to text you back. Confidence comes from crushing goals, from proving to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Every time you achieve something, whether it's a promotion, a fitness milestone, or a personal goal, that's where real, unshakable confidence comes from. When you're constantly chasing, you're handing over your confidence to someone else. You're saying, "I'll feel good about myself if she likes me." That's weak. That's not how a high-value man lives. A man who knows his worth doesn't wait for someone else's approval. He builds his own through what he achieves. When you're grinding, reaching new milestones, setting and smashing goals, you're creating a version of yourself that doesn't need anyone else's validation. So, if you want real confidence, stop looking for it in someone else. Set goals that push you. Achieve things that matter to you. Build a life that you're proud of. And once you've done that, you'll find that you don't need to chase anyone because you already know what you're worth. Achievements give you the kind of confidence that doesn't crumble at the first sign of rejection. You become grounded, steady, unbreakable, and that's the kind of confidence no one can take from you. Number 11. Focusing on growth builds a legacy, chasing builds nothing. Here's the truth. You weren't put here to waste your potential on people who don't see it. You were made to create, to build, to leave a mark. Every hour you spend chasing someone who isn't interested is an hour you could have spent building something meaningful, something that will outlast you. Legacy isn't built by chasing temporary thrills or by begging for someone's time. It's built by doing the work day in and day out that leaves a real impact. Think about what kind of life you want to look back on. Do you want to remember yourself as the guy who was constantly running after people who couldn't care less? Or do you want to be the man who was so dedicated to his purpose that he left a legacy? Legacies aren't made by waiting around. They're made by people who invest their time and energy into things that matter, things that leave a lasting impact. Chasing someone who doesn't see your value, that leaves you with nothing. But building your own life, creating a path that matters, reaching goals that you set for yourself, that's how you create something worth remembering. Build a life so fulfilling, so impactful, that people look at you and think, he didn't waste his time on trivial pursuits. Focus on building, not chasing, and watch how your legacy begins to form. Success doesn't chase, it attracts. Become the man who attracts by being focused on his own mission. Number 12. People respect those who respect themselves. Here's a simple truth. Respect is earned. When you chase someone who doesn't value you, you're disrespecting yourself, and people pick up on that. A person who respects themselves sets boundaries. They don't bend over backward to keep others interested. They don't let people walk all over them just to get a little attention. When you respect yourself, you're sending a message, not just to others, but to yourself, that you are worthy of more. Stop putting yourself in a position where you're constantly seeking validation. Real respect is built when you value yourself enough to know that you deserve more than just someone's half-hearted interest. You deserve someone who values you because you first value yourself. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you decide to respect yourself enough to walk away from what isn't serving you, people start taking notice. They see that you're not someone to be toyed with or taken for granted. When you respect yourself, you naturally command respect from others. They see your standards, they see your boundaries, and they know that you're serious about what you're worth. And here's the best part. When you live with self-respect, you're not just attracting respect from others, you're giving yourself the respect you deserve. Guys, this is your wake-up call. You're better than the chase. You're better than settling. Build yourself up, invest in your own growth, and the right people will come into your life naturally. So now it's your choice. Do you keep chasing, or do you start growing? If you found value in this message, hit that like button, drop a comment, and let me know if you're done with the chase. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this to keep leveling up in life. If you want to support the channel and help us reach more men, consider joining our channel memberships. Every subscription and every membership helps us keep delivering powerful content that speaks directly to you. Let's redefine what it means to be a man.